But so in verse 2, it says, grace be unto you and peace from God our Father and from the Lord Jesus Christ. I thank my God upon every remembrance of you, always in every prayer of mine for you all, making requests with joy for your fellowship in the gospel from the first day until now. So there is a special bond with those who are working from the same things, no matter how far apart. And especially when it comes to the gospel. You know, I was encouraged last week just going to Canada and meeting with all these people there in Toronto that are just like-minded believers. Just people that are out there soul winning, giving the gospel to whoever they can. I mean, I can't even tell you just how encouraged I was when I went to Ireland and met people from all over Europe. You know, there were a couple guys I talked to that were from France that, they were telling me that, France, there are people getting saved every week in France. These guys, they don't have a good church to go to, but they're dedicated soul winners, and they're just doing what they can do, and they're out there knocking on doors, getting people saved, even in places like France. I'm encouraged by that. And so, if I can go to places like that and it's an encouragement for me to show up and just preach to these people, I'm going to do that. And let me tell you something, I care what goes on. I saw, they just had a soul winning event in Edinburgh. And I was watching the video from it, and I'm just encouraged by that. I'm planning on going to England next year, and I'm planning on just preaching to people who apparently get encouraged from my preaching that, I do here, that they get to listen to online. And if I can do something to go and just be a motivation to people that are out there soul winning and giving the gospel, I want to do that because I appreciate it, and I'm telling you, there's something special about these people. And it's just amazing how fast we click and how much I care. And I pay attention. That's one of the great things about, social media. While I talk a lot about how horrible it is nice to be able to kind of connect with these people a little bit, to be able to talk to them, maybe answer questions that they might have, to be able to see what's going on sometimes. And in their case, they can see what's going on over here. Helps us to be a light in these places. Folks, this is all good stuff that we're able to do, and we ought to do that kind of thing. And I would encourage you that if you are somebody if you're not on social media, I'm not going to recommend you get on it. You're probably better off. But if you are on it, and you want to justify it, and you want to accomplish something for good, make friends with some of these people on there who are like-minded, that are in other parts of the world, and be an encouragement to them. I've talked to a lot of people too that they've made close friends. They're with people in other parts of the world. They're in an area where it's really tough. They don't have a good church, and they've made friends with other people in other parts of the world. It's kind of the same thing, and I'll hear them, they talk about each other, they're friends, they encourage each other. You ought to do that kind of thing. And y'all have something special being able to be somewhere and live somewhere where you actually do have a church and you get to be around real flesh and blood people. And instead of waving at them on Messenger, you can actually shake their hand. You've got something special with that, and you don't want to take it for granted. There's people all over the world that would love to have something like this. And if you can do something to kind of be an encouragement to those people, do it. And people are encouraged too when they do get to visit this church and they get to meet some of you all and become friends with actual people from the church. They like that. It's a motivation. So keep doing that. All right? We want to keep being an encouragement to these people that are in these other parts of the world. You know how easy it would be for those guys in France to just quit soul winning? Nobody's keeping tabs on them. That's how it is in most of these countries. Nobody's keeping tabs on them. Nobody's making them do it. Do you realize how easy it would be for them to stop? No pressure. And we don't want them to stop. We need them to keep doing this. And so, I say all this to say, man, we want to be an encouragement. That's the mentality the Apostle Paul had. These people were fellow laborers. These are fellow soldiers. And he cared about them. And he wanted to do things, whatever he could, to try to get them to keep on doing what they were doing. And so he's just writing them a letter.